Welcome to Visionary Ventures, where today's guest is Michael Taylor Life Taylor, a combat veteran turned trailblazer in digital marketing and gaming. Join us as we delve into his transformation from soldier to entrepreneur. First of all, thank you so much, Michael, for being here. It's a pleasure to host you on this episode.
My pleasure, man. And thank you for having me. I mean, I know it's been a one heck of a journey trying to get this set up, and it's definitely going to be well worth it. That's for sure.
100%. And yeah, I know. And thank you for accommodating a late night session. I know it's 11 p.m. where you are. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem, man. I really appreciate it. And just being on the be a great thing.
Mike, starting off with some mental focus and whatever mental work you've done recently or in the past. So I'm interested to understand from military to market. How did commanding special ops mold you into a CEO?
Oh, well, I mean, that was it's something that it definitely takes. This doesn't happen overnight. That's for sure. It you definitely have to have this mental capability of definitely taking everything in and staying organized and having a drive that you have that man that a lot of people really don't want. I can't say that they don't have, just a lot of people don't want that. So you're able to do that. And man, like, I have to say that doing that for so many years. I was in the army for 22 years total, and then I was in the special operations for about 13 years. And I had a lot of great leaders. I had a lot of people to mentor me and mold me into a better person and a better soldier, so that when it was time for me to take charge, I was the best that I could be, or that I was definitely taught to be a good leader. Um,
And
Go
once
ahead.
out of the military, can you pinpoint a tactical moment that transformed your business mindset?
Um, well, to be honest, I had always had a business mindset, even when I was in the military. I had started two smaller businesses before uh, the businesses that I have now while I was in the army, and um, something like that was just something that was always in me. It was a drive, and I just kind of honed my skills in at the last couple years when I was getting ready to retire. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to do something, and I knew that there was a lot of things out there. And as time progressed, I got older, and a lot of the goals and kind of plans that I had, I knew that if I kept going the way I was going, it wasn't going to go very far. So I kind of learned to do like a lot of the online stuff, the marketing things, uh, and I knew that that was going to be able to be what I wanted to be, and do do have that free time. During COVID, it showed that I really enjoyed, like, I like being home more. The whole
Mhm.
most of the time in my military career, I was gone a lot. I was always gone, and I got used to that, but my family didn't. So when I was home for COVID at the end of my military career, I was home every day. It was like 6, 8, 9 months, however long it was. I was home every day with them, and I realized, like, man, this is what I want right here. This is I want to be home every day, and I was working from home. I was on a computer like this working, so I was like, man, this is what I can do and want to do. So
Is
that's what
it
I
because
did.
you were never home? Like you didn't know that feeling and you were like, no, I want more of that. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm staying
that's
in.
it.
That's it.
Yeah, that was it. Like, I knew I was getting out of the army because I was getting kind of tired of it. 22 years of doing the same thing. It wasn't the same thing, but it was the same thing. And I wanted to kind of go do my own thing, and I was going to contract. I was going to do personal security. I was going to do something like that. And when I was home, I realized, I was like, wow, this
The
it was
usual
new.
military retirement plan, right?
Yeah, exactly. a lot like yeah, a lot of my friends are doing the contracting thing. They're overseas still. They're out of it. They retired or got out and they're doing contracting. Or some of them I know that are doing personal security or they're doing some type of fitness trainer or weapons and things
Mm-hmm.
that I enjoy. I definitely, but I think for me it kind of was it was an eye opener of what I really wanted in the end. So for me, that was where my turning point was, and I knew that I wanted to find something where I can stay home and I can be that soccer dad,
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be.
Have
So
you
that
done
was
any out of country rounds and stuff?
um,
Any missions?
in the military. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I did 6 combat tours while I was in, and I think they added up to about 60 months in combat. I think. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I did that, and then that was just the deployment
Mm-hmm.
time frame. That doesn't count TDYs where they're smaller trips. They can go anywhere from a couple weeks to a couple months. It all depends on what we have to do, and so usually when we were home from a deployment, we were never really home because we were training or we were out doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife would always tell us, when you're home, you're never home, and then when you're gone, you're gone. So it was definitely rough on my wife and kids. And now that I'm home, it's a big difference. Like they are the girls. I have 3 girls with me. My
Mm-hmm.
oldest son, he's out. He's 20. He's 25, and
Oh wow.
yeah, so he's out.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So I
Married
retired when I
young.
was yeah. I retired when I was 40, or 30, 39, close to 40 or something like that. Um, and then so this I'm about to hit 3 years next month. So I'll be out.
Amazing.
But yeah.
So talking about the past life around military ops stuff. So confronting PTSD, you face true battles. How does that fight compare with the entrepreneurial grind?
Um, man, I think for me, I can't speak for everybody. I know for me that I have to stay
I'm only
busy.
interested in you now.
Hey, I appreciate it. The biggest thing that I have to deal with is sitting still. I'm not big on sitting still and not moving. I have to constantly be moving. Um, I know that when I do slow down, that's when your mind starts to race. You start going down rabbit holes, and you start fighting those old demons, or things like that. That is where a lot of my friends that got out before me, they had problems adjusting, and that was a big thing that they told me. They're like, "Hey, man, like definitely have a plan when you get out. Have something back, ready for you. You need to keep moving. Don't get stagnant. Like that was a big thing. Don't get stagnant. If you get stagnant, that's it, man. You're gonna drown." And that was that was something that I did I took seriously, but I didn't take too serious.
Hmm.
And I was okay the first year I was out. The first year I was out, by the time I got out, my marketing agency was doing quite well. I had clients, and then I was the head mark. I was my marketing agency was the head marketing for a medical training facility. Um, for like they were like a tactical medical. They trained like SWAT teams and overseas and things like that.
So you
S-
remained inside the ecosystem somehow.
yeah, I did in a way. I dealt with just the marketing stuff, social media. I didn't get too far into the training. I didn't want to. They wanted me to come along and get hands on, and I kind of like put my hands up and was like, I don't, I just want to kind of step back and I
I'm
want to
out.
stay. Yeah, that was my thing. I was trying to get myself out, but I was still in mentally. Like I was still up at,
Okay.
I was up at 5:30 in the morning. I was ready to work out. I was very regimented and kind of
We're
still in
gonna
my.
get to your physical health routine and all of that. But I'm also interested to understand your decisive actions, if we want to
Mhm.
say. Can you share a critical decision where your military strategy gave you the upper hand in business?
Um, I think that the biggest one was the drive. Like I didn't quit. Like I don't. I always found a way to get around my obstacles. Like that was a big thing. I There was times where, if anybody knows about starting a business, it's not easy. It's probably one of the hardest things you can do, and it's not for the faint of heart. If you're trying to start a business, that is something you need to like really dig deep for and think about. And there was times where I wanted to give up, and I had sat there. There was a couple days, and it's happened. It happens a lot. If you ever you own a business, you're gonna sit there and be like, man, I'm a failure. Like I'm not. You look around, you see other people that are successful or more successful, and you're just like, how come that guy's getting it and I'm not?
Mm-hmm.
And or how come that guy's getting the spotlight and I'm not, and I'm working twice as hard as him. And you sit there and you're like, man, and you start getting down on yourself, and you start feeling sorry for yourself, all those things you're not supposed to be doing and you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And my I guess the generic coach would say the mental fortitude, that you got to dig deep, and you keep pushing forward. But that's what it was. I wanted to give up, but I didn't. I sat there. I might have taken a knee, they say, or I would have sat.
Mm-hmm.
I sat on the bench for a minute and kind of got gathered my thoughts. Sat out for a couple plays, but after I kind of cleared my head and was able to think straight and kind of put the puzzle pieces together, then I saw the bigger picture. I saw where I needed to be and what things I needed to do. Where a normal person, I think, well, I know I've seen several people just get up and quit because it got too hard or they were
Mike,
scared of the gamble.
is it really about taking decisions? Because in the military, you don't really take full on decisions. You're following most of the time orders and missions and stuff. And like you're more tactical, following the rules and by the book. And now you became suddenly an entrepreneur, having to take all the shots, all the calls by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's the military's not as that structured, I guess, as you said. A lot of it is gut instinct. Like things that you do, you have your gut instinct, you have your training, you have your experience, you have everything to kind of back you on that, and that's where that gut feeling comes from.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with trying to run a business is, you have this feeling, you have this knowledge, you have, this experience, you have this drive, and you know that, you can make it. You're just scared. You have this doubt. You have just like on in the, like the battlefield or the football field, whatever like that. It's pretty much, the same type of thing. Like, if you can put that together, that's you're gonna go forward. You're gonna
Which one
keep
is
moving forward.
harsher? Which
There's,
which one is more brutal?
uh, I would say, I think more brutal. I mean, it's definitely. I would say, being in combat was pretty bad, but here right now I'm doing it alone. Like I don't have a team, and that's the biggest thing. Like I don't have anybody to go to.
No
I don't
backup.
have no, not at all. No backup, no team. I have no support. I try to, you try to reach out for people, and 9 times out of 10, most people aren't really there for your back. They
Hmm.
kind of they want they want their leg up as well. So they're going to want something in return, but usually it's not a fair trade. I've learned that the hard way several times. And a lot of people are very selfish, and they don't want to share their
Hmm.
actual real knowledge. They want to give you what you can learn on YouTube. And that was
Exactly.
like that was a big thing that I learned, and I don't want to, I don't want to do to other people, because that's a horrible way. And then you have a bad taste for that person. You're just like,
Yeah.
that's a horrible thing that they can do, man.
But like even competition, it's not really harmful. On the contrary, it's healthy and it
Hmm.
pushes you forward. And if we all make it, that's perfect. If one makes it and the other suffers, that's a complete shitty community or wherever you are. So I truly believe in support and in lending hands or whatever training workshops, consultancy we can do to support each others. And yeah, everyone has their own journey, and it's not similar to everyone. So thank you for sharing that, Mike. Moving on towards some physical health, how do you keep physically fit with such a demanding schedule?
Well, I keep a schedule. Like I keep a routine. I have a schedule, and I try to keep to that as much as possible. So my like a normal day.
Are you consistent?
I try to be. I try to be consistent for most of my days. There's days that life throws a wrench in, or a kid might be home from school, or
So you have four
myself.
kids?
I do have four kids, and three would live with me. My son lives on his own now. He has his own house,
Nice. Okay.
which was great because he ate the most cereal out of everybody. So I mean, that that definitely helped out on the grocery bill. But yeah, we had three girls, ranging from high school, ninth grade, fifth grade, and third grade. So
Nice.
they definitely keep us all active and moving. They're all in some type of activity or sports, or church youth group or something. Like they're always moving along. Um, so I'm up on a normal, like a normal Tuesday.
So you're
I'm up.
still up by 5:30.
Yeah. Well, now I can kind of push it to about 6:15 now,
Okay.
because I'm up with them. I get them up, or they're usually up right around the time I get up, and then they're up, getting ready, getting dressed. I'm helping them, making sure their lunches are packed. The two younger ones, their hair is did. My wife, me and my wife kind of do like a tag team where we're helping all three of them try to get out the door, and then by between 6:45 and 7 o'clock, they're on the bus. So then I take my wife, depending on her what her day is. I usually go and I'll drink my coffee and I'll
Does she
sit and do my.
work?
No, she's actually blessed to be a housewife now. She was a charge nurse. She was like the head nurse at a hospital, and
Nice.
finally, we were financially stable enough, while I was in, that it became a choice, and we kind of made the decision of, like, if she wanted to work, she could. If not, then she didn't have to. Then she could just be she can be a stay at home mom. She can be the traditional housewife, or however you want to say it, which is even better now for our family. It helps our family dynamic is so much more.
And
You know,
since you're home, so
yeah,
the I believe the relationship became better.
yeah. I mean,
You both
actually,
are focusing on yourselves, on your life, on your household, on your family.
yeah, it was a little rough in the beginning. We because we were both used to me being gone, and then now that I'm home, we kind of had to work our grooves in, and then I was working from home, so I wasn't leaving 8-9 hours a day and then coming home. I was working from home, so
Is
that
this
was.
a home office now
Yeah, right
where
now
you're
I'm in.
at?
I'm in my transformed game room into a home office when I'm here. When I'm out of the office, when I'm out, then I'm out in the office. But usually I try to be here. It's more homey. It's I can
Yeah.
move the computer and play games with the kids, or I can sit here and do a business
So,
meeting.
talking about your daily discipline, Mike, what's one fitness habit you believe every entrepreneur must adopt?
Physical. You need to be physically active. You need to get up.
Anything specific?
Anything that keeps you moving forward. You need to walk, a jog, a run. You need to do some type of. I believe you need to do some type of weight or body weight training, to kind of keep your muscles from active. Because one, you're gonna if you're an entrepreneur, doesn't matter what type of entrepreneur you are, you're gonna be sitting on your butt behind a behind a laptop or computer a
All
lot.
day, every day.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I know people that are fitness trainers, and they sit on their butts a lot, like sitting behind a computer, getting their business straightened out. And when they're not sitting behind a computer, they're out doing their fitness training. And it's like that's what, and they were kind of really shocked. Excuse me, they were really shocked and depressed because they thought they were just going to be out working out constantly, and they were
Yeah.
not. So like for me, like my sleep is between anywhere between 4.5 to 6 hours at the most every day. I'm up.
Is it enough for you, or you
Yeah, I
got used
mean
to it?
it's yeah, yeah. Oh well, I mean 22 years in the army. You know, you get you get used to it, and that's I mean usually that's about enough for my. Every now and then, once or twice a month, my body's like, all right, man, we're gonna sleep a little bit longer today, and I do. Sometimes at noon, you know, I got that luxury where sometimes at noon I'll work a little bit, and I'm like, nope, this is it. Like this is all I'm getting
Time
today.
for a nap.
Yeah, let's get that nap. Let's go sit on the back porch, you know, and just hang out for a minute. Like
And
I have that luxury, you know.
so tell me a bit more about your daily routine. Like any type of exercise that you do, any particular sports, timing. I don't know.
Well, right now, no sports. I was a kickboxer for quite a few years, but now it's I'm my body's catching up to me. You know, I have a
Lower
probably
back
a
pain.
oh yeah, I have lower back pain. I think I was diagnosed with arthritis at age 35.
Oh,
In
okay.
most of my major joints, spine, things like that. I am 100% permanent disabled. Just with the so many, you know, all the other things that they tacked on that they saw that was wrong with me. So a lot of it is chronic back pain, chronic neck pain, joints and stuff. And as you can tell, like in this interview, I'm like moving back and forth, and I can't. If I sit
Hmm.
still long enough, then I start getting, you know, it gets tense and locked up and whatnot, and it's a whole pain in the ass. So
So what do you
for
do? Do you stretch?
I
Do
do a
you
lot
do
of stretching.
anything?
I met a trainer for a Alabama State college, and she's also an NFL trainer as well. She showed me a lot of stretching. She calls it like dynamic stretching or something, but it
Hmm.
looks like yoga but more intense. Like it's like it's really good, but it's like the poses are really hard for me.
Hmm.
But I feel better in the daytime. Like I don't have that really intense back pain or joint pain or anything like that. Uh, so that actually helps out. I try to do that, 4 or 5 days out of the week. It takes 10, 15 minutes. Um, and then at least 3 days a week, I'm trying to do some type of cardio. If it's like a between a 2 to 4 mile walk in the morning, or I'll go to the gym. And the ellipticals are great because they have low impact, so it doesn't hurt my back. So I can actually go and run for 30, 45 minutes on them.
Hmm.
And then I'll go and do. I have really bad shoulders now. I've a lot of cartilage is gone from them, so I can't do heavy weights anymore. Um, but I'm able to get on the weight machines, or I'm able to do free weights, just not a whole lot. Um, and I'm able to do that. Do a lot of resistance training, so it that helps you. For me, it makes me feel more awake. So by the time I'm done, if I hit the gym by 8 o'clock or so, I'm done by 9:30 and back at the house before 10, so that I can be back, in my work area by
Yeah.
before 10, and I can put in my 4 or 5 hours a day. But if I'm awake and alert, it definitely those things help me out a lot more during the day.
That's also my schedule, by the way. Yeah, I love that routine. So, Mike, we spoke about the physical activity. Now, what about your food intake? Any specific diet? Anything that you
um,
do?
I I try try my hardest, but having kids and a wife that cooks amazing is really hard, especially having kids, man, because they like to eat 24/7
So,
nonstop.
what I can understand is barbecue and beers, and some whiskey every day, and that's it.
Oh man, I wish. uh, no, they actually. I try to do intermittent fasting. That's a big one because I know that my metabolism is slowing down. I'm not as active anymore.
Hmm.
I try to lower my calorie intake as well. And as of this year, January 1st, I actually stopped drinking cold turkey. I woke up one day. Well, I woke up from New Year's Eve. And New Year's Day, I woke up and I was like, you know
It
what?
was that bad.
Yeah, I was well, damn near. I was like, I just don't. I'm tired of feeling like shit. Like I don't want to. I'm not. I'm not doing this. I wasn't. I wasn't really feeling it. but beforehand I was already slowing down, and I was kind of like I was trying to find my purpose and my focus, and I knew that this was kind of it was bogging me down, the whole drinking thing. And so now I'm able to actually get up, in the morning without, having that fog or having that slow phase where I used to write off the first hour or two of my day as just getting out of the fog. And now I'm able, within 15, 30 minutes, I'm up and, moving around. So that kind of, I took that out of my diet, and
Well
then on
done.
top of that, you try to keep the sweets to a minimum.
So, moving the body, even walking, stretching, mobility, whatever it is, intermittent fasting, no alcohol, and a low sugar diet, right?
Yeah, try to. I mean, the sugar part, the kids like ice cream and cookies, and if they're there, then they're gonna be gone. Someone's gonna eat them.
And someone's always at home, so yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. Someone is always at home.
watch out. You're the cookie monster, Mike.
Oh man, I have the cookie bank. That's what my wife calls my belly, is my cookie bank.
So, moving a bit towards philosophical beliefs, I there's a lot to talk about leadership and a lot of backstories, maybe. But I'm interested to know, like, how has your battle-tested leadership philosophy helped or hindered you in civilian business?
um, I think that the biggest thing that has, I wouldn't say hindered me, but it made me slow down and kind of watch or kind of like rephrase a lot of things, or I kind of had to step back from a time, is that while I was in the military, I was very direct. I was very I wouldn't say a non-filter, but I was very blunt, and I wanted to get my point across quick as possible so that we can get whatever task that we had and get it done. And everybody around me was the same way. Like nobody was, we didn't have to, to mess around and try to,
You don't have
please
to be
people.
politically correct or
Exactly.
democratic or whatever
Yeah,
it
no, it
is. You
was it
just
was that's it. It was black or
direct.
white.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Okay.
that for me is trying to talk to people, especially when I first got out. My wife still has to be like, hey, she's like, hey, you sound angry. I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm smiling. She's like, yeah, but you sound angry. I'm like,
Okay.
so and then sometimes I come out very blunt still. Like I just like, hey, this is wrong, and this is me talking to my kid's teacher. Like I'm very blunt and very direct.
So, did you
Or
face any like problems?
there was times where things got heated when I guess it shouldn't have. When, especially for when you're dealing with people in in business, especially as like a marketer, and like I know business. I know how to run them. I know the things that I need to do to make them successful, and I know how to help people. And then some people or want it their way, and only their way, and they don't want to hear any type of outside ideas or
Mm-hmm.
guidance. And when I'm telling people, like, they're like, how come I'm not getting this done, or how come I'm not getting these results? I'm like, well, it's in the nice way. I'm like, well, it doesn't work that way. Things, especially technology, takes a minute. There's no such thing as like overnight success. You can't get
Mm-hmm.
rich overnight. um and they don't take that very very well. And then when I tell them exactly what's wrong, and then I'm telling them how they are going, they're doing it wrong. It's like, well, if you didn't, if you were doing this, then these are things that would happen, but you're not doing
Mm-hmm.
these things. And then they're like, well, if you're not listening to me because I'm telling you exactly what you need to be doing, and they don't want to hear it, that's a huge factor. And I had to start learning how to change I guess my vocabulary. I
Okay.
didn't use
Yeah.
I didn't cuss. I didn't go out, and I wasn't blatantly rude, but I was very blunt, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn. I'm still that same way, but
Polite but blunt. Super
Yes.
direct. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I had to learn that definitely. But that's probably one of the biggest things that I had to kind of learn around that. And to me, I still don't like it because I feel like
What
I'm
about
almost being
discipline, Mike?
uh
Like being
I
a soldier, being in the military, it's super like disciplined, and you have to be super aware, conscious of your actions, all of that. Did it really help you in business?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely goal driven. I I have a goal personally and financially and and business wise. I have them all. I have a goal for each one of them, and I do all these things, and I'm definitely driven, and I have these these wants to keep saying goals, but that's what they kind of get me to. And the main thing is my family is the anchor. Like they're the foundation that keeps me moving.
Anchor is a
Um,
lovely word for that. Yeah.
so my discipline. I get up every morning. I have my routine. I do what I do what I have to do. I get my meetings done. I do my paperwork. I do my whatever I have to do, and I get it done every day. And then you know I'm done every day before, well, hopefully by 3 o'clock or so, because the kids get off the bus by 5, and I'm with them until they go to bed. And then I'm up with my wife a little bit, and then I do my college courses, and then
Hmm.
hopefully I'm in bed between 12 and 1, and then I get right back up and do it all over again. And the days that I get down on myself, um, that's where my discipline kicks in. Um, I heard somebody say that discipline isn't when things are going well. Discipline is when things are going wrong. That's when discipline kicks
Exactly.
in. And those are the days that I'm like, I'm just like, man, I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this.
You
And
know
I'm
how
like,
to
man,
push yourself. Yeah,
yeah,
you've been trained to do so.
you have to. And my big thing is like, hey, man, like I want to take my kids to Disney World in the next year or two, and I want to be able to take my wife to a tropical island, for a vacation. And those are the things I want to do. Like I want to be able to be debt free and just buy our family a new car because I can, and have these businesses that I have underneath me to run themselves so that I can actually step away and have even more free time than I have now. I'm very blessed that I'm able to work the hours that I do, so I'm able to be with my kids every day. I can go to their games, I can go to their practices, I can go to their teacher conferences, and I'm the only dad around that usually does that. I'm usually one
They're
of
all
two or three
moms, right?
dads. Yeah, it's all moms, and it's just me and maybe one other dad, two at the most. And I'm always there. I'm the one that takes them, and they know it. And my kids know that dad's going to be the one that does it. And I told them that I was going to be.
And
Um,
between us, I know you're enjoying them,
yeah,
these meetings.
yeah, I do. I am.
You're feeling connected to the family, bonding with the girls, and
Mm-hmm.
surrounded with a lot of moms. So yeah, I know you're you're happy.
You got to beat them off with the stick. So
So, Mike, talking about the cutthroat worlds of marketing and gaming, and I believe we spoke about discipline. I believe that this is what keeps your compass pointed true north, right?
yes.
Objectives, discipline, showing up, doing whatever it takes just to go there. I love that. I would like to hop onto the community command. So you've built armies and now communities. What's harder to manage and why?
Uh, definitely the civilian communities. Those are definitely the hardest because to me, I have to get out of my head that because everybody doesn't think the way that I do, because I was surrounded by people that thought just like me, so I thought everybody thought this way, and they don't. I was the 1% of the 1%, and they that's how we thought, and that's how we just walked around. We thought these things, and I get out, and no one thinks the way that I do. No one is driven. No one will do things on their own without being told, and we have these community things that we want to do, or something that I'm like, did anybody take initiative and do these things? Like, no, we didn't. I'm like, ah, man, like, like, hey, we have this meeting. Does anybody want to, is anybody going to do it? They're like, yeah, I had something to do. I'm like, but you said, you told me you were going to be there, or you were going to do this. And a lot of time, people saying something doesn't mean anything to them, and that still drives me nuts. I'm like, but
Hmm.
you said you're going to be there, or you were going to do this, or and
Yeah,
and I always do
your
my
word
part.
is your word, and
Yeah,
you live by it and you abide by it, and you
nobody else
just
does.
you just discovered like, oh, no one does
No, yeah,
except me.
it
So
was,
yeah,
yeah, it's
that
really,
sucks.
really, yeah, it was really. It still gets me to this day, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm still gullible too. Like I still think that people are all going to do their stuff too, and I get excited, and I show up, and like 5%, it
Hmm.
shows up, and 5%, and 1% of that 5% actually does what they said they were going to do, and I'm like, man, like this is why we can't get anything done, and
Exactly.
you can't yell at them, you can't make them do anything, but I'm just like, gosh, man, you volunteered, like you wanted to do these things. That's what
Let
gets me the most.
Let's talk a bit about marketing. I know you love marketing, and this is what you're currently doing. So, what's your secret sauce in capturing the hearts of geeks and gamers?
um, I think the main thing is it's my it's my passion. Like that was that's my love. Like that I did that, something that I loved since I was a kid. My marketing agency started off doing in the corporate world, big businesses, things like that.
Did you study marketing or something, but
Not at
or it
all.
was just like a passion
Yeah,
or something
it just
you
came.
like to do?
It actually came to me. I was going to do something else, and it kind of just kept drifting back in front of me. And finally, I caught on. And as soon as the light bulb hit, I learned all of this stuff within 6 months, I guess. Like everything just came like it's like a trying to drink from a fire hydrant. Because everything just came rushing, and I was soaking it all in, and I was doing it, and that's literally how it happened. Like I was self taught. I over the years I definitely learned the more traditional stuff and took classes. I'm taking now I'm doing my second degree, and I'm doing it in business and administration and
Oh,
entrepreneurship.
nice.
Yeah, so it's like, at first it was very self-taught. I did all those things, and now it's I learned what my passion and what my drive is. I know these things that I love.
So, at 43 years old, you went back in and you're studying a new major, and
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
nice.
I was like,
43 years old, with four kids and a
yep.
wife and a business to run.
Yeah.
Amazing. Impressive, man. Kudos
Yeah.
to that.
Well, actually, two businesses. We got we got the gaming label and the
Exactly.
marketing
Yeah,
agency.
yeah.
Yeah.
Two businesses. So, could you divulge a marketing strategy that flopped and one that flew?
um, one that flopped was um the one that I tell people the most that everybody wants to do, and it really irritates me, is rushing. They want to rush in,
Quick
and
results.
yes, they want quick results. Like right now, I've had music artists, I've had businesses, I've had startup businesses, I've had contractors, instructors, things like that, influencers, and now gaming industry. I'm more of like a 60-40 split, so 60% is more in the gaming industry and 40% is still in the business industry. Um, but
Yeah, it
the
shows with the
yeah,
connection and your background and all of that.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
leave the whole business behind, because I've already have my foot in the door, and I've
Hmm.
already have that stuff going. And plus, I always learn more when I'm doing with them. They're just very boring. But the gaming stuff is what I like to do. Like that's my thing. I don't look it. I definitely 6'4", 265 pounds. I look like I should be in the opposite of a gaming store. Like, but being a gamer is a huge thing, and I have a team of 8 people. We
Oh,
write,
wow.
yeah, we write, we do gaming. We have a huge Kickstarter coming out in March, um, and Chaotic Chronicles. That's our label. Um, so we do that, and the biggest thing that we have, I reach out to other people that are independent creators, and they want to do their crowdfunding, stuff like that, and I'm learning. more and more with them. As I'm doing it myself, I'm doing it with them. That means I'm getting better on both sides, and I can help people more efficiently.
Hmm.
Um, and everybody wants to start their campaign like a week before their crowdfunding starts. Like they're like, okay, our crowdfunding starts next Friday, and it's the Monday week prior, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. There's no way. That's less than 2 weeks. You should have been,
Hmm.
prepping. I was like, you need, I always tell them you need a back plan. You take your date, all right, and then you go back 60 to 90 days. That's for prepping, and then you need to promote and marketing, and then you need to start networking, and then by the time that 30 days prior to your campaign, everybody should know that your product is coming out, or whatever you're doing, your event, or
Hmm.
whatever that is, so that on your release day, you can have 100, 100 eyes, 100% eyes of what you have. They're on, and they're open, and they're expecting your release, so that for that big campaign, because you have your budget. Like I tell them, you have your budget for that pre-launch, and then when the launch comes, that's pretty much double whatever your pre-launch is, because that's what you want. Like, that's where you want your eyes on. Everybody's already ready. Been giving them these teasers, and they're like hungry dogs. And then when you open the door, you want floodgates. Well, 99% of the people that I work with are not like that. And even after I tell them, they want to come to me, a week or two, less than 2 weeks before, and tell me like, "Hey, okay, I'm ready." I'm like, "Oh man, you freaking kidding me, man!" Like, that is the worst, because I'm like, "Man, I've told you." And then they want to. Then halfway through their campaign, they're not, they're barely even getting close to their goal, and
Hmm.
or whatever their expectations are. So then when they barely scrape by, they're getting across that finish line, they're just like, how come we didn't do this? I'm like, man, it's horrible, because, you didn't listen to me at all. And that's like the biggest
What
thing that
about a
really,
campaign that flew?
oh man. Uh I've had a lot more successes and failures, thank goodness. Usually because I'm very choosy about them. Um, I've had uh, I've had music artists hit number one in their region, in their area. They try to, which they're very smart. A lot of them want to start. I've dealt with music artists that wanted to go automatically number one charts all over across the U.S. or worldwide, and they're a nobody, like they're a no name. And the artists that I've picked, they were like, okay, hey, I live in Chicago, or I live in Atlanta, or I live
Hmm.
in Florida, and like, I want to be number one in this area first, and then I want to spread out. I'm like, awesome, like those are the guys I want, because they're smart. They know, they've done their research. um, and those are the guys that I really enjoy, like to have to work with, just because they know those things. And same thing with the gaming industry. It's more of like a technical uh, industry, because they're very smart, in that way. And the one that we had, I guess recently, like, I think the closest one, they had a crowdfunding, and he did his research, and he got to me probably like a month and a half before his launch. And it was definitely the optimal time. Like, I was like, got it, man, we can definitely conquer this. And we got above his numbers for pre-launch, and then when launch came, by the time his time frame for his crowdfunding was done, it was 30 days, I believe. He was already over, probably, I want to say, I think he funded at like 125, 150% or something like that.
Nice.
um and that was and that and it wasn't, he didn't have any really a following. He didn't have like he wasn't big. He wasn't a big name. Nothing. He was independent. He started out from the bottom, and
And he made
we
it
he did make it, and we
thanks to
worked.
your strategy, guidance, and execution as well,
Yeah,
right?
and his ability to adapt and learn, and to take his pride and put it back seat. And it was, I want to say it's a 50-50, because it wasn't just all me, but it wasn't just all him either. We were a great team. We worked together, and he's very successful now. And I'm very proud to have worked with him, and definitely all his accomplishments. And then
Amazing.
Yeah, and all the clients that I've had that did the same thing, man, I'm really happy for them.
Good job on that. Moving towards business insights. Tell us a bit more about what you're doing. We were talking a lot about different businesses, marketing, gaming, all of that. Tell me in one sentence, what does Taylor Life do?
Taylor Life, we have a digital marketing. We have a Chaotic Chronicles, which is the gaming label, which also has a clothing line underneath it as well. And we are partnered with a podcast, side quest, which I'm a host in as well. I record every Thursday, so that's another thing I do on my that's on my plate.
Mhm.
Um, and then on top of that, Taylor Life has actually is the help fund and is the founder and creator of the Dungeon Scribe Society, which is a global community that I've created for for independent creators of like the gaming world or artists, publishers. I mean, authors that have been published, things like that. They're independent. All these different type of creators, not just gaming, but just worldwide type. We come together and try to help them out. Um, I've also this past year I was the ambassador for a historical documentary for 50 years of fantasy, which is the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
So I was the ambassador for that, and then I I am the I am a I volunteered to be with Aerial Recovery, which is a natural disaster recovery unit, and they also do anti children human trafficking and sex trafficking. So they go in and they rescue the kids.
Amazing.
Um, they do the things like that. And then now I am in the works of brainstorming and kind of working with a few people to see if we can come up with some sort of a coaching program so that we can actually coach and mentor others and try to see if we can, how many other people we can try to help. If I can squeeze it on my plate, I will definitely have that worked out. But I think right now my plate is a little full, so I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
kind
I
of
wanted
step
to
back
tell
from
you,
that.
you have a full plate currently, and well done on everything that you're doing. It's truly amazing that you really have the time, focus, and energy and drive to achieve all of this. Um, Tell me about any startup survival advice that you would give to any upcoming solopreneur or entrepreneur that is listening to you.
For a first time startup, I would definitely say do your research, find exactly what you want to do, and who your target audience is, and think about what your service that you're providing. Like, what are you going to do for them? Like, what are you going to provide? What's the positive thing that you are going to actually do for them?
Hmm.
Take money out of the equation, and with that, know that you are going to be spending the money. They might be trying, you might want them to be paying you, but you are going to be paying the money because starting up a business is not a cheap thing. It's something that a lot of people don't realize, and you may have to work your full time job for about a year or two or more,
Hmm.
to get it stable. And something as long as you do your research and you do all of these little things that most people don't do, the transition will be a lot swifter and smoother. I think that is the biggest key, and definitely make sure you have a nest egg kind of saved to the side. But the main thing is to do your research and find out exactly what your niche and what your subject expertise is going to be.
Lovely, lovely advice. Thank you, Mike. Are you ready for 10 fire questions?
All right, man. I'll see what I can do.
Let's go. Command structure, remote or office?
Remote. I'm definitely remote.
Preferred arsenal, SEO or social media warfare?
Social. That's shit. That's a hard one, man. Social media is it's fun. It's more fun.
Funding the fight, crypto or stock market?
Stock market.
Battle rhythm, crack of dawn or burn the midnight oil?
Crack of dawn.
Combat stress, hit the gym or hit the mat?
Ooh, that's a good one. I enjoy the mat better. I'd rather hit the mat.
Battlefield choice, console wars or PC peace?
Mm. I we'll go to war. We can go to war.
Console?
Yeah.
War stories, military memoirs or business battles?
Memoirs. Let's do the military
Troop
memoirs. Yeah.
rally, face-to-face conferences or digital meetups?
Face to face.
Tactical training, virtual courses or live fire exercises?
Probably live fire in class. Yeah.
Leadership tactic, charge ahead or collaborate?
I'm more of a charge ahead, but I'm learning to collaborate more.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mike, for being part of this lovely episode. So, for those who are inspired by Michael's journey and looking to connect or collaborate, how can they reach you and engage with your projects?
You can definitely check me out on Taylor Life Digital Marketing on Facebook. That's where main people get us the most. You can get me on all my links, and everything I have is on Linktree. It's
Mhm.
Mike.Taylor 357 on Linktree, and with that you can find all of my social links as well, and chaoticchronicles.com. You can reach us there as well. Um,
We're gonna try to mention and add all the links and the relevant links in the description of the episode as well. Thanks so
awesome.
much, Michael. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you
It
so
was a
much for
pleasure
having me,
to host
man.
you. Thank you for
Uh,
sharing and keep it up. Best of
no,
luck.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. You too.